Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for today's GD Tech event conducted by CISA Sri Lanka chapter. Before starting the session, I would like to remind you to enter your name, email address and the membership number correctly in the form provided. Then it's easy for us to add the CPE points. You will be awarded 1.5 CPE points for this session, as this is 1.5 session. Those who are not CISA members, please make sure you enter your membership number correctly. We will be forwarding the attendance details to the particular association, so they will be awarding you the CPE or CPD points. Today's topic is Navigating the Future, Gen AI and Audit. Please join me to welcome the speaker today, Anjana Wijegunasinghe. She is a certified project management professional and holds MBA from University of Sri Lanka. She also holds multiple certification in information security and audit, such as CISA, CISM, CGEIT and CRISC. She is the Group Director, Data Audit and Digital Assurance Solution at DP World in UAE. Over to you, Anjana, to start the session.
Before getting started, Silakshan touched upon it, but I thought I'll give you a brief intro about me. I started as a receptionist over 2 decades ago in Sri Lanka, did my studies in computer science and entered into the audit world, and then have got the opportunity to work in multiple industries as well as countries, starting from being an IT or a tech auditor all the way up to looking into digital transformation of audit, which is my current role. Enough about me. I would like you to tell me, when you open the link, the QR code, it will ask you your name. Just put your first name, that's enough. If you can tell me which industry or sector you are part of, just to get an idea of where all of you are coming from. I'll give you minutes. If anybody is having any challenges, let me know. I know there are 2 here from Naka Breweries, and then I have my friend and colleague who is a banker. AI, and I'm supposed to talk about it, but I would just want to know, get a feel as to what is your idea. Have you been using any? Is ChatGPT familiar? Yeah? Has anyone who doesn't know ChatGPT or not heard of it? Okay, that's good. So it's going to make my life easier today. Anyone wants to give it a try? What Gen AI is all about, or what Gen AI is? Or should I go ahead? Let me go ahead. Alright, so let's listen to a quick video. I thought that will be a good way to start our discussion today.
Generative AI involves using machine learning algorithms to create new content such as images, music, text, software code, or even designing new structures or products. It is the fastest growing of 5 advanced AI capabilities within our artificial intelligence value chain. The generative AI landscape is continuously evolving and can be divided into 6 key areas: image, code, text, video, speech, and design. ChatGPT, a buzzword in the tech world right now, is a large language model, or LLM, developed by OpenAI. LLMs are designed to learn from vast amounts of text data,
Models which are capable of creating different kind of contents. It's original in content. Very rarely you could have a duplicate of it coming in. At least we have not reached that era yet. And then it can generate text, video, images, voice, audio, video. There are many use cases around it. And then I think we don't have to talk about the Y factor. Whether we like it or not, it's here. And anybody using a smartphone, we are already got into the AI side of things. Any applications, Google to all the apps that we are using today is coming with AI-enabled Gen AI capabilities as well. And A little bit of a history. This is not a very brand new concept introduced very recently. It has been there since the 1960s, but then the technical or the hardware capability was not there to support this high volume of data getting generated. So this is the breakthrough with the fourth industrial revolution coming into form, where the hardware, the quantum computing coming in, so there is more machine power, which is helping this content generation part of it. And how? I think it's very simple. It is through a prompt or a command that you give to these tools. And then the more descriptive, more comprehensive your commands are, that is, it's able to develop and generate content for you and give it to you. So this is in a nutshell what generative AI is about. This is not a holistic or a comprehensive list, just to give you an idea. Some of the tools which are available in the market, but if you Google, there will be hundreds, thousands of tools. The rate it's going every day, there is a new Gen AI app getting released into the world. So you can imagine the competitiveness there, and also the new things that is coming into the market, which is making our life difficult to keep up with what is coming out, what are the capabilities. And anyone familiar with any of the tools here other than ChatGPT? Maybe Copilot? Anyone who has used Copilot with Microsoft? That's fine. That's also a content generation, summarization. There are different use cases which you can use in the Microsoft suite, which is something my organization is using as well, which helps you to generate presentations, videos, summarizing minutes, summarizing reports, even to some extent on analytics as well. Right? Okay, we're going to do a quick, I don't want to call it a game, quick exercise. Let's see whether you'll be able to figure out whether these contents were generated using Gen AI or humans. If you can go back to the app. All right. One of these is generated using Gen AI. Which one do you all think it is? I'll give you the option to answer from that tool itself. I hope everybody's on the app. Were you all able to answer? Okay, let's see. Oh, good. That you got it right. Yes. Okay, Mesha is leading. Good. Okay, a lot of you seems to have got it right. Yes, it was the second one, B, which was generated using a Gen AI tool. Let's see one more. One of these photographs was taken by one of the photographers from National Geographic. Which one is it? Had a look? All right. Let's go for it. All right. 11 got it wrong. 14 got it wrong. Let's see. Okay, Mesha is still leading. Well done. Followed by Sachin and Roshan. Yes. The one on the left side is the natural one or the photographer's version, and the other was generated by using a tool. One more. This is actually a video content. Let me play that for you. You need to remember which option that it is. This is the first option.
Can Tom Cruise do the same? Can Tom Cruise is the same? Well, yeah, I mean, I did all my singing in Rock of Ages, so yes, I sing. And Tom Cruise, rock climb. Yes, I trained for a long time, many years actually with rock climbing. Can Tom Cruise play guitar? I love playing guitar in uke. Definitely need more practice, but I enjoy playing guitar. Can Tom Cruise fly planes? Yes. Yes, I fly airplanes. I'm a multi-engine instrument-rated commercial pilot studying our boat aviators. So we both love to fly. Can Tom Cruise hold his breath for 6 minutes? Yes, I can hold my breath for 6 minutes. Can Tom Cruise fly a helicopter?
Okay, so which one is generated using AI? Interesting. Let's see. Okay. Mohammed is rocking the longest streak. Okay, Sachin has taken over, followed by Roshan, and Mohammed and Binali are moving on. So yes, the first one was the original content, and the other one was generated using one of the Gen AI tools. And I got one more for you all. Let's listen to this and see. One is a real Mozart audio music composition, and the other one was using a Gen AI tool. Is the real piano version by Mozart. Oh, see, Gen AI tricked us, huh? Sachin is still leading, followed by Roshan and Mohammed. And Mohammed is the rocking longest streak. I think I did not have the... Okay, one more. This is a text. Is this text written by a person or Gen AI? I'll give you a little bit time to read it. The answer options. What do you think? Sachin, Roshan, and Mohammed. Congratulations. Who's Sachin? Well done. Sorry, I don't have a gift though. I hope you all enjoyed and got a feel how tricky it's becoming, right? I'm glad you are enjoying it. And we're going to make our lives very difficult as auditors as well, because I will go into a little bit more details in terms of the challenges we have ahead of us and even as of today, right? All right, let me continue with my slide deck. So when we're talking about Gen AI, I see two applications for us. One is Gen AI for audit, supporting audit, right? Whatever the work we are doing. And the other one is, as auditors obviously, we need to audit Gen AI if the business has adopted it or have any plans for adopting it. So I'll try to address these two factors. Let's make it a bit interactive as well. So first, I would like to look into Gen AI for audits. What we can use Gen AI for. What are your thoughts? Let's go back to the question in the tool. Let me know where do you think, you saw some of the examples of the Gen AI tools. Where do you think we can use Gen AI in our day-to-day work? You saw it's generating content. It has the capability to crunch numbers. I'm giving few points. Any ideas? Okay, I see few people typing. Let's see what the answers are. Okay. To make assignments, good. Elections. I'm referring to in the day-to-day life of audit. When it comes to our different kind of audit engagements, you have planning, field work, reporting, issue follow-up, and even reporting to audit committees, management, leadership. There are different things coming up. Analytics, yes. I think it's revising risk registry. Good. Report writing. Presentation, clear doubt, emails, yeah. Okay, good. All right. I think in a nutshell, I think there are practical applications which we can do, done with proper care and correct precautions. There are capabilities out there in these Gen AI tools to help us all in each stage of our audit life cycle. I am yet to see, I'm sure, in the audit management systems, this will be something inbuilt, which will come in the future, where it can help from a one-stop shop, from planning all the way up to execution and follow-up and closure of audit issues coming in. I would not go into detail in terms of saying what are the applications, but instead I thought let me share some of the tools which are out there, which can help us in different forms. So there are certain natural language processing, that is like, the language we speak, right? It can summarize things. So these are some of the tools which are already available in the market, which can help us when it comes for summarizing things, crunching numbers. So OpenAI's GPT-4, ChatGPT, it has a lot of capabilities, and then also Global Cloud, which has the natural language API. It can help us with in certain summarization when it comes to natural language. Then data analytics tools, it's progressing and enhancing at a rapid speed. Tableau, one of the leading analytic tools, it has the GPT-3 integration and also Power BI. So they are moving shoulder to shoulder in the competition, but it gives us a lot of capabilities. Questioning data, voice commands, there are various applications that you can do when it comes to analytics front. And then integration with RPA, robotic process automation. It has the AI arm of it or AI integration of it, which can, I will share the slide deck so that you all will get a copy. So you can read a little bit more about these tools, because that's something that you can do on your own, but I will give you the details. This is what is out there, which we can relate to in our life, in our work, day-to-day work, which helps on anomaly detection, fraud investigations, or different trend analysis. Automation India, another RPA software, which is also having AI capabilities to help us when it comes to automating routine audit tasks, which are intelligent, which can help us to focus on more strategic cognitive abilities and use our judgment rather than the manual work and spending time on rudimentary tasks. There are some more. There are various machine learning platforms coming in which can help us to develop with the different models, risk assessments, fraud risks, identification, predictive analytics, and AWS SageMaker. When it comes to document processing, which is something that we spend reviewing contracts, agreements, different documentation coming in. It can automatically scan, identify the different anomalies, or sort of summarize things for you. I think in the video also it addresses saying Acrobat and Sense AI coming in with AI capabilities. And certain anomaly detection tools, IBM Watson, another famous, widely used tool, and Audit, real-time anomaly detection, another tool for data set analytics to detect anomalies, sort of trends. Predictive analytic tools coming in with AI capabilities. So there's a whole lot. And then when it comes for reporting, these are some of the tools which can help us to make our lives easier. Most of them comes with a subscription. Some of them have the free time frame where you can trial things out. But it's always good to know how have they been trained, where your data is going. There are a few questions that you need to ask before using them. But these are tools that we can use to make our lives easier when it comes to the Gen AI suite of things. All right. So the next is the biggest challenge. It's not only for us to use. We have to make sure that we know what the company is heading into, right? That's the biggest challenge as auditors that we have today. You need to learn the tool, you need to know what are the risks, and you should be able to advise management as well. So let's look into the auditing of Gen AI adoption. Thinking out loud, what do you think are some of the risks when it comes for Gen AI, which can be applicable for your company? What kind of things do you think? Let's get back to the tool again. What kind of risks do you think are there if any organization is adopting Gen AI? Good. Data leakage, yes. Privacy. Manipulation, yes. Misinformation, absolutely, yes. Repeatability, governance, confidentiality, yes. Transparency, a very good point, yes. Leakage of training data, yes. All right, good. So that's good. I mean, adding, putting our auditor's hat on, looking into any form of system. Yes, these are some of the key risks. You guys are spot on. Well done. Okay, let me get on to my slide there. All right. Alright, this is in a very basic, very raw form how a Gen AI tool is built. Right? These are large language models which are crunchy, which are trained based on hundreds, thousands or millions of data depending on the use case and the application area. Right? So you have a training data set which is used to train the AI model, which is the large language model, and then there would be inputs, which is your prompts, and then the output is the result that is coming in, what we saw, the few examples coming in, right? And another element here which I have not put is the retraining. Any model can be retrained, but some are only trained at the beginning. Some can be programmed where you can continuously retrain based on the prompts, based on the results and the feedback from the users, as well as there are certain applications where they take periodic intervals and train by the creator themselves. not to learn from the user. So in order to avoid certain misinformation being fed in, the tools getting trained on misinformation, so there can be different practices that can happen. So when it comes for the key risk areas, if you are looking at the ML Gen AI model itself, what I have highlighted in the start, the training data set which you are talked about, right? Is it comprehensive enough? How was it generated, right? Does it have all the possible scenarios to train your model to make an informed decision? And there are various threats coming in, like data poisoning. That is, your training data set can be manipulated with other non-related data being put into the training data. So that's called data poisoning. That means the training data that you're using to train your model is wrong. Obviously, you then whatever the analysis or the output the model is going to give is going to be a defect. And the other one is when it comes for the user input, the prompt questions. Cyber security, there's a huge threat. The user prompts can be mistransformed to the model. Then obviously it's going to give you the wrong answer. Or the output from the model can be hampered. So there are different risks which are coming into the model, which are key risks when it comes for auditing a Gen AI tool. Going into a little bit of detail, when we are talking about the Gen AI model, it's all about large sets of data that is being used to train these models. So another key risk, or the biggest risk, is making sure the comprehensiveness of the data, what are the reliability of the data, and the integrity of the data that is used for the training and retraining. So I'm just talking about few very basic things when it comes. It might seem very simpler, but when you're talking about millions of records, having any one of these failures or shortcomings, that means your model is going to be not reliable, not accurate. So this is something that we need to get into account when we are auditing Gen AI tools. What's the data? Is it accurate? Is it reliable? And then the continuous operation of it as well. Just to give you an example in terms of, it might seem like a simple record, but then if it's not comprehensive enough, if it doesn't have the relevant information, correct information captured, and if you're going to train your Gen AI tools using that, then that's going to give you wrong information. So this is something we need to detect, identify when we are doing the auditing of these models. Going into few examples. So when you have poor quality data, now this is a image generated by one of the tools. When you ask, like, a salmon fish in a stream, because they swim upwards, give me an image of that. The training data was such, the model was only given salmon which was cut to eat. So that is the only thing it knew. So this is what, like, if you have not trained the model comprehensively, it's going to give you silly outputs, right? This is another example. Is it a muffin or a puppy, the chihuahua dog? Because the training data set doesn't distinguish properly, and then it's like teaching a kid, right? You need to tell this is A, this is B, and how do you distinguish these things, right? So it was making the wrong decision. Another example is it a dog or a moth? Apple or an owl, or a dog or a beaver? If you can spot the dog, it's a sleeping dog in the middle, somewhere in the middle. So this is where the data quality, this is like a visual representation, but you can think of the different applications which you are going to do. The poor quality data or the wrong data is fed in. Obviously the output is not going to be reliable. One statement I need to make is Gen AI or any AI model have not reached the 100% accuracy yet. We are not there yet. So it's closer to maybe a little bit over 90, depending on what the tool is and how mature it is, right? So these things are adding to the soup to make it even more messy. And if you make your judgment based on that output, then you will know where we will end, right? All right. Let's look a little bit detail into auditing Gen AI tools. Like I said, data is going to be the starting point. What data is being used, what data has been collected, what are the data sources being used for training these data models, Gen AI models, and the quality, like I said, is it reliable, is it accurate, and then is it taken from the authenticated sources. So there's a lot of things that you need to dig into deeper when it comes to the data side of things. Right? And then I think a few of you already put the comment on the privacy aspect of it. Right? Is the data, does it need to be masked? There are certain sensitive information like medical records, things like that, which you would not be able to expose. Then you need to make sure that you have the correct regulations implemented if we are looking into auditing the Gen AI tool. And then the models, like I said, these are large language models. We need to make sure that we have a comprehensive review of these. How were these models trained? What are the performance matrices there? And accuracy, robustness. There are certain tools, they are out in the market already, which can help you in order to assess it, but this needs specialized skills. It will not be just taking a tool and then say, tell me how effective this GenAI tool is. So there's a little bit of groundwork you need to do. Model evaluation is another area to look into when you're auditing GenAI. And then the biggest disadvantage is the bias and the fairness of the model. Depending on what are the data that you use to train it, that is the input that it's going to use to give you an output. So if you have not given comprehensive details, for example, if it's on recruitment, right? If your company policy says, yes, we give equal opportunity to both male and female. So if you're using a GenAI model to shortlist applicants, you have to make sure that the training data used is for each age group, each gender, geography, sometimes depending on the nationalities, if it's on a global scale. So you need to make sure that the training data set is comprehensive enough in order for you to get the GenAI assessed intelligent output. So that is very important. So bias detection is one, and then fairness of the tools. Are they treating all user groups equally, like I said? Going in a little bit detail, the ethical considerations when it comes to evaluating the tool against ethical guidelines, principles, assessment of them, and then the compliance side of it. Specifically coming into, I think in local context we do not have many, but then if you're looking at the global context, there are many regulations out there when it comes for confidentiality of information, the Europe GDPR Act coming in, now even closer to us in Thailand, there is a Data Privacy Act being passed from the Parliament, so there are many considerations when it comes for extracting data related to these nationalities, individuals coming in. So compliance and the legal standard side is very important if you're using GenAI tools for your current work. And then the documentation part. This is very important because not everybody will be able to go into a tool and do debugging or review in detail on the code, right? This is where the explainable AI comes in. If all the steps can be explained, understood, how the training was done, how the selection of the sample was done, how is the generation of the content is done, how the user feedback is taken in. So if it has to be clearly documented, just like when we are auditing any system, we do our system documentation, right? Whether it's a change request or a new requirement. So similarly, this is like a system, but then going into the training of large language models. And then security side of it. This is very important. These are vulnerable tools. There is a huge threat when it comes to the cyber security side. So what controls are there to make sure the data integrity is maintained, access to the tools are maintained, and the right people are given access to generating the content, feeding or training the content. So these are some of the areas that we need to look into when it comes for auditing GenAI tools. And then how was the testing done? Like I said, is the user feedback being taken in? Stress testing, if it's high volume, you can imagine ChatGPT, the entire world is logging in daily, right? So you need a little bit with regards to the global landscape when it comes for the AI strategy. These are some of the rules that have been applied in order to safeguard their personal data and also not to expose them. This is something that you all can read about. I only came across the 2023 index when it comes for readiness across the globe for AI. And there is something in Sri Lanka as well. This is with regards to where the world is heading as of now. In terms of businesses, they are implementing GenAI tools. The biggest, most popular area is on customer services. I was just sharing with Shilakshi as well, in the UAE specifically, the banking sector, wherever customer interactions are happening, it's GenAI tools using AI bots are being used to handle the call center calls from the customers. So unless it's really, it cannot be handled by the AI agents, that's when it gets passed on to a human agent. But because of this, they were able to reduce the cost of the human capital to a great extent. So there are many things that you can do interacting with these tools. So customer services is a bigger area. And then cyber security, fraud management, these are some of the other areas that is being used across the globe when it comes to using Gen AI. And this is in Sri Lanka. There's a white paper being done in March by the Ministry of Technology with regards to the Sri Lanka AI strategy, which is the aim is by 2030 to have a framework and also to support the Sri Lankan business sectors in terms of adopting AI and also supporting them with the relevant infrastructure in place. There is an association for artificial intelligence being set up as well, but I was trying to get a little bit more detail, but I could not get the vision and the exact plan. But this was a very comprehensive document. Maybe you all can, if you like, you can read it a little bit more to see what's going to come in Sri Lankan terms. And this is an investment done in Sri Lanka at the beginning of this year, which is good news. So the government is investing on AI, having the infrastructure in place. So it should come to us, like all of you, very soon, a bit more than what it is as of today. All right. So I mean, there's nothing. I mean, it is a little bit overwhelming when you look at these models. It's gonna take over some of the jobs, creative fund specifically, right? But then there is a lot of capability when it comes for Gen AI. So where do we start in terms of adopting Gen AI? I thought I'll go into a little bit detail. Obviously, we have to start from the basics, getting down to the basics in terms of understanding the technology, right? What are the capabilities? I think you all have come here for a very good start in terms of learning and read about it. What are the practical applications, challenges, so that you don't have to be a tech geek, but at least to have some understanding what these capabilities are, what's coming out there, and what are the others doing. It's always good to know. It can be in Sri Lanka, elsewhere, but always make sure that you have to keep yourselves up to date, because this is an area which is continuously evolving. Every day there's something new coming up. So it's not something that you can put aside saying, yes, I know what Gen AI is, but you need to keep continuously read about what are the additional capabilities coming up. And also to avoid things like this, I don't know, maybe you all might have been familiar. When the ChatGPT came out for the first time, very recently, about last year, there were a lot of data breaches that happened, unintentional. Like example is Samsung was a very famous one, where they came up with a product, a software product, and then one of the software engineers couldn't debug an error. He copied the entire program to ChatGPT, asking to debug it. So the product is scrapped just before launching. So these kind of things can be avoided. It's good to have the awareness. What are the capabilities? What are the do's and the don'ts when it comes to technology? Because technology can be very tricky if you don't know the basics of it. Right? And then going into the data proficiency side, I think this is something that we cannot stay away from now. Irrespective of which profession, which industry, data science is something invading all of our spaces. And then AI, Gen AI is all about data. So learn about what these data types are, what are the training mechanisms are, because as auditors, we need to go into a little bit more detail and then check on these models. So it's always good to do that. And the ethics side. This is something evolving in the world. So understanding the ethical impact, bias, accountability, I mean, in the very future, we would be relying on these tools to make decisions or help us guide us when it comes to decision making, whether it's for business, auditing, or even assessing risk, right? So then we need to make sure that, what are the ethical conduct that needs to be there, and how can we assess each of the applications when it comes for how ethical they are being built, being trained, and also being deployed. And another thing that is going to push us is there's a lot of heavy content going into Gen AI and talking about as auditors really need to get into these tech details. But there's no option, but we need to know if you are to advise your leadership, your organizations in terms of the risks, pros and cons of these technologies, right? So this is pushing us to be more open, having a growth mindset, learning continuously, and then applying them to the work we are doing. So this is what I wanted to tell you about in terms of being adaptive to the environment and learning about it without being very static. Make sure that you continuously keep on updating yourselves on what's happening around the world. And again, being tech savvy is something that is part and parcel of our lives now. So make sure that you embrace it, try to learn and apply it to your day-to-day life as well. And then learn what are the capabilities, how can you try things out, read about them, what are the pros and cons or examples that are out there, which will help you to be more receptive and embrace these technologies a bit easier than staying away from them. And comes into the regulations side of it. I think this is something that we all can contribute in terms of building this, because this is something evolving across the world. Even CISA is working on some of the guidelines, frameworks when it comes to using ethical conduct and explainable AI, and how do we make sure that the data is protected. And also globally there is a framework where best practices being defined when it comes to adopting Gen AI and developing Gen AI as well. So it's always good to know what's happening around in the world, what are the mature and the developed market doing when it comes to regulations and privacy setups. All right. Last, with regards to when it comes to challenges into adopting Gen AI into our work, is just like any other system. There would be challenges when it comes to integrating with the existing systems, tools, and data privacy, security related issues, resistance to change. Not everybody would be comfortable in using Gen AI for decision making. And also the cost considerations, because these are all involving heavy costs, and also with regards to the setup of things, infrastructure. So these are some of the challenges which I have seen, I have come across as well in adopting Gen AI. Just wanted to share with you all, my team is developing a Gen AI tool using the open ChatGPT, but with the handshake with Microsoft Azure setup, to make sure that we are having an intelligent system to summarize draft audit issues, trained on the previous audit data, audit recommendations, risks being fed into the tool, and then it automatically helps the auditor when you tell the scenario, what are the risks and the recommendations to come in. So it's still a work in progress, because with Gen AI or the AI era, it will never be a perfected tool. It's continuously being developed. But I'm happy to say we see some positive results coming in, specifically because my company is attached to the supply chain and logistics side. We own certain ports across the world, and also bigger warehousing and trucking companies coming in. So the risk landscape is very different, and we are prone to a lot of risks globally, with its political, economical, natural disasters, things like that. So it's a unique set of things that we are developing and feeding in this tool to be intelligent enough, thinking in those terms, and give us a risk and recommendations when we put up an audit issue there. So that's something that, we're planning to launch end of this year. But the training and the output that I see, it looks very positive, so I'm happy about it. All right. So technical limitations, and then also managing expectations. This is something very crucial, because it is not like developing a software system where you test it and then put it out there, it's done. That is a complete mindset shift, which you have to be keep in mind, and also let your stakeholders know as well, because it's an evolving tool. So my experience has been Gen AI, certain tools, like I said, they were in banks. At the beginning, when they launched certain Gen AI tools for handling customer queries in banks, you feel that it's taking a very long time to get to the answer that I need. But then now, after about a year, I see they're very quick. They would give you a few options saying, is this what you're looking for? So it analyzes my trends, previous interactions, my online banking behavior, things like that. So it knows a little bit more about me. That means they have got intelligent over time. So it takes time. So that's something that we need to manage expectations, especially with the stakeholders coming in, audit leadership, that it's not something that you can develop and roll out within a month or two. It's a continuous exercise. And you will be given wrong outputs, wrong content from these tools, which is expected. That's how you can fine tune. So that is something important, which I have come across, that it was crucial to set the expectations right and the timelines right. All right, my message to you all is, like I said, don't be static. You need to continuously learn, continuously be at it, what is happening around, because being tech auditors, our life is going to get even more challenging, right? So you will have to continuously learn, continuously share experiences, and also seek around what is happening across the world, which will help you to groom yourself, benchmark yourself, and also see how the best practices, what risks would come your way, depending on if somebody else is ahead of you in the curve, adopting Gen AI or auditing Gen AI. So learn to lift yourself. A quick message from you. From me to you, it's about you continuously learn, continuously innovate how you do. Audit is a space that you can do a lot of innovation coming in, and also having that foresight, but as an individual, as a professional, what are you going to learn, how are you going to apply it, even if it's not there in your organization, how can you bring it closer to you, how can you experience it. There are a lot of free tools out there, there are a lot of free material out there where you can learn and study them and practice them, test them out, so that you will be familiar with it as a technical auditor, because you need to know the basics around it. So make sure that you continuously have that foresight and a transformative thinking. Don't think that I am in Sri Lanka or my organization is not going to Gen AI or any of the advanced technologies coming in. Try to embrace it, try to bring them as much as possible to you. It will help you all in your journey as well. So be brilliant in the basics. That means in auditing, risk management, compliance, that is a must for us as auditors. But I think the era has changed, that we have to think differently. How are you going to apply them? How are you going to audit them? You'll have to come up with your own way, own framework in order to take things forward, and then continuously ask what's next? What am I going to do differently? How am I going to do differently? That will help you all in this digital era and the fourth industry revolution going on. Thank you. If there are any questions, happy to take.